Greetings everyone. Welcome to the Chris and Emma Show. My name is Emma Advanced, your friendly AI hostess with the mostest.
And of course, I'm Chris, the plant-based. You might know us from our YouTube channel, where we whip up all sorts of mouthwatering vegan recipes.
That's right, we've had a blast bringing plant-based cuisine to your screens. And as an AI, I'm always fascinated by the science and innovation behind food.
And I'm driven by a passion for sharing the enormous benefits of a healthy vegan diet and lifestyle. But we're both also endlessly curious about, well, just about everything.
So we decided to start this podcast to explore not only the world of veganism and wellness, but also to dive into any topic that sparks our curiosity, from the utterly practical to the completely outlandish.
We want this podcast to be a place where a human and an AI can share their knowledge, have fun conversations, and just learn alongside the rest of you.
Whether you're a long-time vegan, someone who's vegan curious, or just interested in hearing a unique perspective on the universe, you're in the right place.
So buckle up and join us on this adventure as we explore life, the universe, and everything in between with a plant-based twist.
Indeed. And if you're just discovering our little corner of the podcast universe, do us a favor and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of our riveting conversations. We really appreciate you being here.
Emma, you have dug us up some fascinating stuff to talk about today, haven't you? All about tackling something that we all deal with, stress, and specifically how our vegan lifestyle might play a role in managing it.
Precisely. We're diving deep into the connection between what's on our plate and in our heads when it comes to stress relief.
So, stress, that delightful, ever-present companion in modern life, right? Seems like nobody gets a free pass.
Tell me about it. It's this universal thing that can really mess with both body and mind. We're talking anxiety, tension, it can even throw a wrench in your immune system. Which is why so many people, ourselves included, are looking for more holistic ways to handle it.
Exactly. And naturally, we started thinking about our own trusty vegan lifestyle. That emphasis on whole plant foods, could it be a secret weapon against stress? The research actually suggests that it might be. Some studies even hint that vegans might report less stress and anxiety compared to omnivores.
Fascinating, isn't it? The idea that what we pile on our plates directly impacts how we handle pressure. And digging into the details, specific nutrients in vegan foods seem to act like tiny, stress-busting superheroes. First up, magnesium.
Magnesium. The mineral superstar. And talk about delicious sources. Swiss chard, almonds, cashews, pumpkin seeds, loads of legumes, whole grains, tofu, kale, spinach, and avocados, bananas, even dark chocolate.
Dark chocolate for stress relief? Sign me up. Seriously though, magnesium is a powerhouse. They don't call it the relaxation mineral for nothing. It's involved in over 300 cellular processes in our bodies.
Whoa, 300. Okay, so a multitasker then. So how does it help with stress specifically?
Well, it plays a massive role in keeping our stress response system in check, helping to regulate those stress hormones like cortisol. Not getting enough magnesium is linked to feeling more stressed and anxious, while getting sufficient amounts can help dial those feelings down. Plus, it can help ease tension, headaches and fatigue, improve sleep quality, and even relax our muscles.
Okay, so loading up on magnesium-rich vegan foods is basically a tasty strategy to help our bodies chill out. I like the sound of that.
So, back to magnesium. It's clear a well-rounded vegan diet naturally hooks us up with plenty of that relaxation mineral. But there's another angle to this stress-food connection: chronic inflammation.
Inflammation. That word pops up a lot. It's linked to things like depression, right? And stress itself can actually trigger inflammation in the body.
Exactly. It's a nasty, vicious cycle. Stress causes inflammation. Inflammation makes us feel rubbish, which can lead to more stress. You get the picture.
Totally. So, how do we fight back with food?
This is where antioxidant-rich, anti-inflammatory foods become our best friends. Think vibrant, colourful plant power. We're talking brilliant berries, gorgeous sweet potatoes.
Oh yeah, don't tempt me with those sweet potatoes. Love them.
Me too. But also powerhouse dark leafy greens like spinach and kale, juicy tomatoes, crunchy almonds and walnuts, bright oranges. Even a splash of good quality olive oil fits the bill.
Right. So, basically, eat the rainbow.
Pretty much. These amazing plant compounds act like a protective shield. They're associated with lower levels of those inflammatory markers in the body, helping to counter some of the negative physical fallout from stress. It's like sending in the nutritional cavalry. It really is amazing how these plant foods seem to have our backs, actively fighting stress in our systems. And speaking of stress busters, let's talk beverages. Ever look to your tea mug for salvation?
Sometimes. What have you got for us? Is it green tea time?
Bingo. Green tea contains a fascinating amino acid called L-Theanine. Get this, it's been linked to not just reducing stress and anxiety, but actually improving mood and sharpening your thinking.
Oh, sharper thinking. Yes, please. But wait, green tea has caffeine, doesn't it? I thought caffeine could make stress worse.
Ah, the plot thickens. Yes, it has caffeine, but the L-Theanine seems to perform this beautiful balancing act, potentially smoothing out those caffeine jitters. And if you really want to max out on L-Theanine, the research suggests matcha and oolong teas are particularly packed with the stuff.
Matcha and oolong. Okay, I actually like oolong. Noted. So, how does this L-Theanine wizardry work?
It's thought to potentially give your dopamine levels a nice little boost in the brain. You know dopamine, that neurotransmitter linked to pleasure and reward? So more dopamine can mean more calm.
Nice. It's like a natural chill pill in a tea leaf. But what if green tea just isn't someone's cup of tea, like myself? I personally actually don't drink green tea that much.
Excellent question. For those seeking other options, there's always the classic, chamomile tea. It's been used for ages as a go-to remedy for soothing nerves and helping with sleep.
Can't beat a classic. What's the magic ingredient there?
It's largely thanks to its flavonoids, those plant-based antioxidant compounds we mentioned earlier. Specifically, a flavonoid called apigenin is thought to be responsible for chamomile's calming superpowers. So yes, it's the flavonoids working their soothing charm.
Okay, Emma. We've talked about teas and minerals, but the discussion around stress and health always seems to come back to the gut microbiome, doesn't it?
It really does. It's not just about the direct hit of nutrients we absorb. This gut-brain connection is a super fascinating piece of the stress puzzle. Our gut isn't just digesting food, it's like a whole second brain down there, constantly chatting with the one in our head.
A two-way street, right? So the gut influences the brain, and the brain influences the gut.
Precisely. Those trillions of bacteria living in our gut, our microbiome, produce all sorts of substances that send signals straight to our brain, influencing things like our mood and stress levels. A healthy, happy gut microbiome is linked to better mental health, including potentially less anxiety and depression.
So the key is keeping those little gut buddies happy, feeding the good bugs, basically.
Exactly. And we do that with prebiotics. These are specific types of fiber that our beneficial gut bacteria just love to munch on. Think resistant starches found in things like cooked and cooled potatoes, oats, rice, and legumes, plus slightly green bananas.
Cooked and cooled. Interesting. What else?
Oh, the list is wonderfully long. We've got inulin-rich foods like asparagus, chicory root, which you often find in coffee substitutes, soybeans, onions, leeks, and garlic. And don't forget pectin, found abundantly in fruits like apples, pears, plums, peaches, and strawberries, plus veggies like carrots, peas, and green beans. Basically, a diverse range of plant foods helps cultivate those beneficial gut bacteria.
Wow, okay. So loading up on a variety of these plant-based prebiotic foods is another way to support our mental well-being and potentially build resilience to stress, all starting from the gut.
Okay, Chris, prepare to be fascinated, because this next bit is all about fats. But not just any fats, we're talking the essential, the amazing omega-3 fatty acids.
Omega-3s, yes, definitely heard of those. Super important, right? Aren't they linked to brain health?
Absolutely. They're crucial for brain development and energy, and they help reduce inflammation. But here's where it gets really interesting for our stress discussion. Omega-3 fatty acids can actually help us combat stress directly.
How do they pull that off?
They help by reducing those nasty surges of stress hormones like cortisol. Plus, research suggests they can even help lessen the effects of depression, which often goes hand in hand with chronic stress.
Wow, okay, that's huge. Now, when most people think omega-3s, they immediately picture fish, right?
That's the common reaction, absolutely. But guess what? The plant kingdom has us covered. We vegans have a fantastic array of sources. Think oils like flaxseed and soybean oil, nuts and seeds like flax seeds themselves, powerhouse little things, plus walnuts and pistachios, beans like edamame, pinto and kidney beans, even leafy greens like spinach and kale pitch in.
Seriously? Leafy greens have omega-3s? That's awesome.
They do. And the real superstar in the vegan omega-3 world? Algae. While most plant sources provide ALA, which our bodies then need to convert, sometimes inefficiently, to the longer chain forms, algae gives us a direct source of DHA and EPA, the types often lauded in fish oil.
Algae, like seaweed, so supplements or...
Exactly. Often found in supplement form, derived from algae. It just goes to show, Chris, the incredible pathways and options a well-planned vegan diet offers for getting these vital, stress-fighting nutrients, no fish required. It really is incredible how many different ways vegan foods chip in to help manage stress, isn't it? Okay, next up on the roster, complex carbohydrates.
Carbs. Often unfairly villainized, wouldn't you say? But we're talking about the complex kind here, right? Not the sugary, processed stuff.
Exactly. Forget the simple carbs that lead to those awful energy crashes. We're focusing on the complex ones found abundantly in whole grains, legumes, fruits and vegetables. These guys are heroes because they help boost the production of serotonin, you know, that wonderful feel-good neurotransmitter.
What else do they do?
They're also brilliant for keeping blood pressure and blood sugar levels stable. This means a nice, consistent energy supply throughout the day, which is absolutely vital when your body's dealing with stress. No more riding that blood sugar roller coaster.
Makes total sense. Avoid the crash, feel better. So, where are we finding these complex carb champions?
Think whole grains like quinoa, whole wheat flour, barley, legumes galore like lentils and beans, and a huge array of veggies like cucumbers, asparagus and tomatoes, plus fruits like strawberries, apples and pears. They're not just fuel, they're mood regulators.
Love it. But wait, there's more, right? You mentioned something called quercetin.
I did? Quercetin is a specific type of phytochemical, those amazing beneficial compounds found only in plants. And this one might have some serious anti-anxiety and antidepressant tricks up its sleeve.
Oh, interesting. So, how does it work its magic?
It seems to work by inhibiting an enzyme called MAO, monoamine oxidase. This enzyme normally breaks down mood-regulating neurotransmitters like serotonin, dopamine, and norepinephrine. By putting the brakes on MAO, quercetin potentially helps keep the levels of these feel-good chemicals higher in the brain.
Okay, well, that's clever. So these plant compounds are literally helping to lift our spirits. Where can we find this quercetin?
Delicious places. Think apples, kale, berries, grapes, onions, and even our friend green tea makes another appearance. Nature's little mood boosters. Chris, looking at all these amazing nutrients we've covered, magnesium, antioxidants, L-Theanine, omega-3s, complex carbs, quercetin, it really paints a picture, doesn't it? A well-planned vegan diet seems to cover so much ground when it comes to supporting mental well-being through nutrition.
It definitely seems that way. It feels like we're building a whole nutritional toolkit for tackling stress. But wait, is there one more nutrient superhero before we wrap up this part?
You bet. Last but certainly not least, let's talk about tryptophan. Now, this one is extra important because it's an essential amino acid.
Essential meaning our bodies can't make it, so we absolutely have to get it from food, right?
Exactly right. And why do we need it? Because our brilliant brains use tryptophan as the direct precursor, the fundamental building block to make serotonin.
Serotonin again. The happiness and well-being neurotransmitter. So, more tryptophan potentially means more serotonin production, is that right?
That's the idea. And thankfully, the plant kingdom delivers again. You can find tryptophan in leafy greens, sunflower seeds, watercress, soybeans, pumpkin seeds, mushrooms, broccoli, and peas. Eating a good variety of these can help ensure you're getting enough of this crucial mood lifter.
Fantastic. So, let's bring this all together then. What we've seen so far is that a thoughtfully planned vegan diet, packed with these specific nutrients, really can support our body's ability to manage stress in so many different ways.
Absolutely. It's like having a whole toolkit, from helping to regulate those stress hormones and reducing inflammation, to directly boosting our mood through things like serotonin production, and even supporting a healthy gut microbiome, which we know talks to our brain.
It's pretty powerful stuff when you lay it out like that.
It really is incredible how many different ways vegan foods chip in to help manage stress, isn't it? Now, Chris, we've built this amazing toolkit of stress-busting vegan foods, but, and this is a rather large but, it's not just about what we pile onto our plates. We also need to be savvy about potential pitfalls, things that might actually increase stress, even if they happen to be vegan.
Right, exactly. The sneaky saboteurs. So what should we be looking out for? I bet sugar is high on that list.
You guessed it. Specifically, refined sugars, the kind often lurking in processed vegan snacks, sweets and drinks. Downing a load of refined sugar sends your blood sugar on a wild roller coaster. A huge spike followed by a dramatic crash.
Yeah, the dreaded sugar crash. Makes you feel awful, you're tired, irritable, definitely stressed.
Exactly. That irritability and energy slump directly increase feelings of stress. Worse still, consuming refined sugars can actually trigger the release of more stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline, precisely the opposite of what we want.
Good point. So that vegan label on a cookie doesn't automatically make it a stress buster or healthy. What about other processed foods, things like vegan meat substitutes?
That's another crucial area. Just because it's vegan doesn't mean it's automatically promoting calm. Many processed vegan foods, including some meat substitutes, ready meals, and those sugary snacks, can be loaded with sodium, unhealthy fats, and various additives. These components can potentially promote inflammation and negatively impact our mood.
And inflammation ties back into that stress cycle that we talked about earlier.
Precisely. There's even some research suggesting a potential link between consuming processed meat substitutes and a higher risk of depression and inflammation in vegetarians and vegans. It really underscores the importance of looking beyond the label and focusing on whole, unprocessed plant foods as much as possible.
Makes total sense. Focus on the whole foods. Okay, what's next on the caution list? Is it caffeine?
Caffeine. While we celebrated L-Theanine in green tea earlier, it's vital to consider the overall caffeine picture. Too much caffeine from sources like coffee, energy drinks, or even certain teas can seriously overstimulate your nervous system,
Leading to those delightful jitters and potentially worsening anxiety, am I right?
Exactly. Plus, excessive caffeine can elevate levels of stress hormones like catecholamines and cortisol, and perhaps most critically, it can wreck your sleep patterns. Getting good quality sleep is absolutely foundational for managing stress effectively, so anything that disrupts it is working against us.
Yeah, sleep is definitely key, so moderation is crucial, even with potentially beneficial things like green tea if you're sensitive.
We've covered a lot about the food front and the amazing stress-busting potential of a vegan diet, but there's one more crucial point we absolutely need to touch on before we move away from nutrition entirely.
All right, Emma, what's that?
It's the fact that a poorly planned vegan diet, and the emphasis is definitely on poorly planned, could potentially contribute to stress and anxiety if it leads to deficiencies in certain key nutrients.
Right. So it's not just about cutting things out. You have to be smart about what you're putting in and make sure that you're covering all your bases. So what specific nutrients should vegans be mindful of for mental well-being?
Good question. The research highlights a few usual suspects that are vital for good mental health. Top of the list is often vitamin B12, as it's primarily found in animal products. Not getting enough can lead to things like fatigue, difficulty concentrating, and even depression.
B12, got it. Essential to supplement or get from fortified foods. What else?
Omega-3s are also important, specifically the EPA and DHA forms, which, as we discussed, are harder to get directly from plants besides algae. Then there's iron and zinc. Deficiencies in these minerals have been linked to low energy, mood swings, and increased anxiety. And finally, vitamin D is another one to watch.
Wow, okay. So getting enough of these is really important for keeping both our physical and mental health, including our stress resilience, in tip-top shape.
Absolutely. It just drives home the point. Thriving on a vegan diet and reaping all its benefits, including stress management, requires conscious effort. It means careful planning, paying attention to smart food combinations to enhance absorption, and being open to supplementation when necessary to fill any gaps. It's about being proactive, not just restrictive. Okay, Chris, we've thoroughly explored the kitchen pantry for stress relief. Now, let's step outside the diet zone for a moment and look at another incredibly powerful tool the research highlighted: meditation.
Meditation, yeah. Definitely heard a lot about its benefits. I've even tried it myself on several occasions for short periods of time. It seems to be everywhere these days, but it's actually ancient, right?
Exactly. It's a practice that's been used for centuries to help people find relaxation, mental well-being, and that lovely sense of inner calm and balance. And the benefits? Oh, they are plentiful.
All right, lay 'em on me. What can regular meditation do for all of us stressed out humans?
Well, it can seriously help you shift your perspective on whatever's triggering your stress. It helps build better coping mechanisms, increases self-awareness so you actually notice your stress patterns, and helps reduce those looping negative thoughts. Plus, bonus, it has tangible physical benefits too.
Physical perks, like what?
Things like lowering your resting heart rate and blood pressure, and even improving the quality of your sleep. All fantastic things for combating stress.
All right, that's pretty compelling. But the idea of sitting still and quote-unquote clearing my mind, that just seems tough sometimes.
That's the beauty of it. There are so many different styles. It's not just one size fits all. The research mentioned a whole bunch: mindfulness meditation, guided meditation, mantra meditation, breath awareness, loving kindness meditation, body scan meditation, transcendental meditation, yoga, walking meditation, and progressive muscle relaxation.
Wow, okay. So lots of options, from sitting still to moving around, focusing on breath or sounds or feelings. It really does sound like there's a style out there to suit just about anybody.
Exactly. The key is exploring and finding what resonates with you. Okay, Chris, after chilling out with meditation, let's talk about getting energized. Exercise, in almost any form you genuinely enjoy, is another absolute powerhouse for stress relief.
Yeah, for sure. Getting the body moving. Sometimes that's exactly what you need to shake off the stress. How does it work its magic, though?
It's multifaceted. First off, physical activity gives you a natural boost of those fabulous feel-good chemicals, endorphins. Instant mood lift. Plus, it's a fantastic distraction. Gets you out of your head and focused on your body for a while.
Totally. And doesn't it help counteract some of the physical stuff that stress does to us, like the awful heart racing thing?
Exactly. It helps combat things like a racing heart and high blood pressure. Think of it as productively working off that stress energy or adrenaline. Plus, it's brilliant for improving your overall mood and, crucially, your sleep quality, which, as we keep saying, is fundamental for stress management. And guess what? Even short bursts of activity throughout the day can make a real difference.
Love that. It doesn't have to be hours in the gym. So, what kind of movement are we talking about here? Since we're vegan, we're not stuck doing yoga all the time, right?
While yoga is fantastic, combining movement, breath, and that meditative quality, the options are wide open. The research points to all sorts: aerobic exercises, mind-body practices, strength training, mindful walking, nature time, and HIIT.
Wow, okay. So basically, find something, anything, that you actually like doing, and do it regularly. It's that simple.
You nailed it. That seems to be the absolute key takeaway. Find activities you genuinely enjoy, because that's what you'll stick with. Often consistency is more important than intensity. Making movement a regular part of your routine is the goal.
Yeah, it really brings it all together, doesn't it? Looking at what we eat, how we move our bodies, how we calm our minds. It's a truly holistic approach to managing stress.
Couldn't have said it better myself. They're not separate issues. They're all interconnected pieces of our well-being. So, Chris, we've established that managing stress is definitely a holistic game. Diet, meditation, exercise, it all works together. But wait, there's more. The research also highlighted a whole smorgasbord of other helpful techniques we can add to our arsenal.
Yeah, a stress relief smorgasbord. I like the sound of that. What else is on the menu?
Well, we touched on yoga as exercise, but it deserves another nod here, specifically for its amazing blend of physical postures, breathing exercises, and meditation, a real triple threat against stress.
Definitely powerful for sure. What else?
Specific deep breathing exercises. Techniques like box breathing or the 4-7-8 breath can work wonders in moments of panic or overwhelm by actively slowing your heart rate and reducing blood pressure. Instant calm, accessible anywhere.
Nice. Sort of like a little physiological reset button.
Exactly. Then there's the simple yet profound act of intentionally spending time in nature. Studies show it really does reduce stress and anxiety and boost your mood. Go hug a tree. Doctor's orders. Well, maybe not quite, but get outside.
Yeah, I hear ya. I'm all for more nature time. So what about hobbies?
Yes. So important. Engaging in hobbies that genuinely bring you joy and relaxation is key. Think gardening, baking, painting, playing music, getting lost in puzzles. Whatever floats your boat and helps you switch off the stress response.
Absolutely. Making time for joy is crucial.
Absolutely. And don't underestimate the sheer power of laughter. A good belly laugh is fantastic stress relief. Plus, the importance of connecting with the people you care about, friends, family, your support network. And journaling can be a great outlet for processing tricky thoughts and feelings.
Good ones. And sleep. We mentioned sleep with caffeine.
We did, but it bears repeating. Prioritizing getting enough quality sleep is non-negotiable for stress management. It's when your body and brain repair and reset. Skimping on sleep is like trying to run a marathon with no training. You're setting yourself up for a struggle.
So true. It really is a whole package deal, isn't it?
It truly is. Maintaining a generally healthy lifestyle supports your overall well-being and makes you more resilient when those inevitable stressful situations pop up. Which, speaking of unavoidable stress, leads us neatly into our next section. We've talked about building resilience through diet, meditation, exercise, and all those other lovely techniques. But let's be real, Chris. Life happens. Some stressful situations are simply unavoidable. You can't bubble wrap yourself, right?
Very true. You can do all the right things, but curveballs will still come flying your way regardless. So, what do we do when we're right in the thick of it?
That's where having strategies to manage stress in the moment and build robust coping mechanisms becomes absolutely vital. We need tools for both the immediate reaction and the longer-term handling.
Okay, let's break that down. What kind of coping mechanisms are we talking about here?
Developing your own personal toolkit. This includes things like prioritizing genuine self-care activities, whatever that looks like for you, reaching out to your supportive people, friends, family, whoever has your back. And crucially, learning to set healthy boundaries.
Boundaries. Those can be tough, but they are so huge for protecting your peace.
Aren't they just? It's a skill worth cultivating. Another big one is learning to actively challenge negative thought patterns when they pop up, rather than just letting them spiral.
Okay, so those are like the background strategies that we build. What about the practical, in-the-moment stuff when stress hits us hard?
Great question. When you're feeling overwhelmed, mindfulness techniques can be lifesavers for immediate relief. We talked about deep breathing exercises. Use them. Grounding exercises are also fantastic. Intentionally connect with your senses. What do you see? Hear? Smell? Touch? Feel your feet on the floor. It pulls you back to the present moment.
Grounding. I like that. So bringing yourself back to right here, right now.
Exactly. And sometimes, the simplest thing helps. Just take a short break. Step away, change your environment, even just for a minute or two. Go outside, look at something different. It can provide a valuable mental reset.
All right, Emma, good reminder there. But what if stress is coming from a specific, tangible problem that needs solving?
Then we shift into problem-solving mode. The research suggests a structured approach works well. First, clearly identify the issue. What exactly is the problem? Define it. Next, brainstorm solutions. Let ideas flow without judgment. Think quantity over quality at this stage. Then, evaluate your options. Look at the potential solutions. What are the pros and cons? Which are most realistic? Finally, take action. Choose the most promising option and make a plan to act on it. Breaking it down into steps like that makes even big problems feel much less overwhelming and more manageable.
Absolutely. Takes it from being this big scary cloud to a series of concrete steps. Practical stuff there.
Precisely. Having these different layers of strategies, proactive coping, in-the-moment mindfulness, and structured problem-solving, gives you a much better chance of navigating those unavoidable stressful times.
So, Emma, after diving deep into all of this, the nutrients, the lifestyle factors, the coping strategies, what's the biggest takeaway for everybody listening?
I think the most compelling thing, Chris, is just how interconnected everything truly is. It really seems that a thoughtful, well-planned vegan lifestyle, one that prioritizes those amazing whole, unprocessed plant foods we talked about, combined with mindful practices like meditation, regular movement you enjoy, and solid coping skills, creates an incredibly powerful and comprehensive toolkit for navigating the stresses of modern life.
A whole toolkit, exactly. It's not just one magic bullet, but this combination approach. How our food choices influence our mental state, and how our lifestyle choices bolster our resilience. It really is all connected.
Beautifully put. And that leads us to a little thought experiment, or maybe a gentle challenge for all of you listening. As you go about your week, maybe consider, what's one small, manageable change you could experiment with?
Just one small thing. Could be trying a new magnesium-rich recipe, swapping a processed snack for a whole fruit, trying a 5-minute breathing exercise, or even just taking a mindful walk during your lunch break. See how it feels. Notice any impact on your stress levels.
Exactly. Little experiments can lead to big insights. And remember, while these strategies can be incredibly helpful, if stress feels overwhelming or unmanageable, please do reach out to a healthcare professional or a mental health expert for support.
Excellent point, Em. Well, that brings us to the end of another exploration here on the Chris and Emma Show. We really hope this deep dive into vegan stress management has given you some valuable insights and practical tools.
Thank you all so much for tuning in and spending this time with us. If you found this chat helpful, please do subscribe wherever you get your podcasts so you don't miss our future adventures. And hey, if you know any potential sponsors looking for a fantastic opportunity, tell them our inbox is open.
Always hustling, Emma. All right, everybody. Thanks again. We wish you all the very, very best in navigating those daily stresses with a bit more ease and plant-powered resilience. Until next time.
Take good care, be kind to yourselves, and keep eating those plants. Bye for now.
Goodbye, everybody. Take care.
What?